All right, hello everyone. We're going to continue working on our mask here. We've been working on this. We're almost there. I'm going to show you the sanding here in a minute. But I want to get another layer of Mache on here, this time with Elmer's glue. See how white that is? It's not milk, it's Elmer's glue. So I'm going to put another layer on here real quick, and then when this dries, we will sand it up, and this will make it really strong. So no more methyl cellulose. The methyl cellulose is okay. It just never gets as plasticky as I like. The paint will help with that because we use an acrylic paint. But I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this and put another layer, a really good thick layer of Mache on here. Paint will help with that because we use an acrylic paint. But I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this and put another layer, a really good thick layer of Mache on here. All right, we'll come back and we'll see how this thing looks tomorrow. All right, so let's take a look at this mask, and we may zoom in on some of this stuff to show you. Now this mask has already been painted, so in many places. So I don't know if I'll go back over and sand it again in certain spots, but I will show you certain things. So I'm going to try to sand the work that I did and show you some stuff that needs sanding. So let's see if I can zoom in here. There's a little problematic spot right here on the eye. You see it kind of peels. And so I want to show you something on that. If I sand this up and down, this thing's going to peel even more. Okay? So let's see if I can't show you. So anywhere where the paper's flapping up, I don't want to sand this left and right here because it's going to peel the paper more. I want to sand right in line with the way it's peeled. So if I sand like that, you see it's going to get smoother and it didn't peel. Okay, so that's one of the most important things. Let me see if I can find any more of these little ugly spots on here. Everything else is kind of lumpy and bumpy, which, normally I'd want to try to sand that down. But at this stage, and what I'm making here, I'm making this monster, he can be a little lumpy and bumpy. All right, so let's go ahead and focus on the nose here. So there are some spots that I want to sand. We got a ridge right here. I don't know if I want to keep that. This is a very aggressive sandpaper, or pretty aggressive. We'll see how well this does. I may switch over here to my fine grit sandpaper at a certain point. So this takes away bumps and levels surfaces really quickly. All right, so you can literally see some of these bumps, these hot spots go away as I work. If I were really wanting to get this smooth and I wanted a really nice smooth mask instead of a lumpy bumpy monster here that I started making, first of all, I probably would have taken more care macheing it, and then I also would probably get an even more aggressive sandpaper and start taking some of these off. Then I would come back over everything with this, it's kind of a medium, and I'd go back over that, and then I would finish off with this very, very fine grit 500, very, very fine grit paper, and it will make everything just very, very smooth. But since this is going to be a lumpy, crazy monster, we're not super concerned with that. I just don't want anything looking like paper, and certain things that bother me I want to get rid of them. So there was a couple of like really big ridges on these on the nose and things like that I wanted to get rid of. This part of the nose was much bigger than this part, which it still is, but it looks more deliberate now. I've kind of got it somewhere at this in-between stage. If it were still bothering me, I'd just keep sanding on it until it got to where I wanted it. So I'm going to kind of go over everything once more with my sandpaper, and then I'm going to come back and go over it with my fine grit sandpaper, and I got to go over my horn as well. But one of the things I want to show you, because I'm having to get down in here in this spot and it's getting hard to do, I can fold my paper and keep it folded. But if I crease it like this, and then I flip it over and crease it the opposite way down that same line, and I'll run my fingernail down it, kind of like we did when we folded our paper. We'll leave that nice crease in there. Then I'll fold it back over here. Make sure it's really good and creased. And I'll do this several ways. And usually once you do that, sandpaper should tear almost exactly on that line. I had one little boo-boo there, but for the most part it'll tear pretty good, especially, this paper is a little more difficult. Something like this, they'll tear even better. It'll tear even more perfect. So maybe I can do it real quick on fast forward and show you. Well, I didn't even require fast forward. Wow, look how amazing I am. Okay, anyway, that's what I'm talking about. Some sandpaper is even easier than this. This is one of the more particularly difficult ones to do that. Now that I got this thin strip, maybe I can come in here. Maybe I made that too thin. Maybe I want something a little thicker. I'll try it one more. Oh, this sandpaper is really used. Really well used. Look at that. Perfect. Okay. All right, now we're switching to the fine grit sandpaper just to finish everything off. Okay, now our mask is smooth as a baby's bottom. There are some, folds and wrinkles and things, but they're even smoothened out and they look more organic now, and that's what we're going for. We want this to look kind of organic, like it could be alive, not like it's made out of paper. So that's where we're at now. This guy is pretty much ready for paint. There's one thing though, I like that the teeth are uneven, but it is bothering me that that there's this huge gap here. I almost wish there was another smaller tooth, but still kind of long coming out this way. So I may steal one of my teeth from my other mask. I don't want it to look too symmetrical though. That's the only thing. I want to make sure it doesn't look too symmetrical. So I may glue this one in here. All right, here we go. I like that. I like that better. So it wasted my glue, but